So what brought you to Fyzical of Central Illinois?
Well, I am actually a 3-time cancer survivor, and what cured me was a stem cell transplant. The good news is I don't have cancer. The bad news is I have what's called graft versus host disease, and it presents itself in many different ways. For me, it's digestion, and following that, it has been muscle problems, tissue, muscle, nerves, hardening of the skin, all very painful, and most of it in my back. I'd been to chiropractors, acupuncturists, everything you can think of, and every physical therapist in the area. A lot of them more than once. And then I remembered that this little office was hidden in here in Sullivan. And so I thought, well, I should definitely try that. It's close. And, you know, it's the one person I haven't seen. And I got lucky finally. Found somebody good. So it's pretty exciting.
What have you been able to do since you started therapy?
Well,
Here at Fyzical.
Right. So a lot of the other therapists would have me doing exercises. Whereas here, that's just not something that always works for me every week. We need to do pain management a lot of times, and that can last from the day to the whole week to longer than that. I had to stop working. I used to have to use a wheelchair if I had to walk places very much, like walking around like I don't know, like a craft show or something like that for the day. I had a cane I would have to use a lot of times because different joints and things like that would be so painful. I couldn't clean, I couldn't cook, but now I can. Some of the things I have to modify on some days and use a chair, like when I'm cooking, or have someone come in every 6 weeks or something to help with the cleaning that I can't get done, but I didn't used to be able to do any of those things. But mostly the big difference is the pain level, which helps me to be more sane and helps me to have more energy because it's not draining. And it just makes a huge difference in your life, and you don't realize how much brain power it takes up, and you forget that you used to be an intelligent person until you get some of that back. And really, if for some reason I couldn't do anything else, but I got some of that pain relief and some of that anxiety, taken care of from it, I would be happy. But I'm glad we've been able to do more than that.
Great. What about your experience with the actual office itself? How's that been? As
Good.
in the mechanics of the office, the scheduling,
Yeah, I mean, everything seems to flow great. When you call, you get someone. If I have a question or I have to leave a message, I always get a call back. Scheduling always seems to not really be much of a problem for me anyway. And I think the flow of the office, the way it's set up for like multiple patients, if they were to cross, paths like during COVID, it was, it has a good flow for its purpose.
Well, fantastic. Anything else you'd like to tell us?
Let's see. So, the other thing that I like about Richard is that he does voodoo techniques that I don't know I don't really know what they're called. That's what I think of them as. But he has different techniques that are not ways that I've experienced pain management before. And they are so helpful. And I also like the way that he will address the body as a whole. And, you know, maybe we can't get all of the stuff done in the allotted time, but since we've looked at the body as a whole, we know like which thing needs to be done first and what's more important. And I also like that he listens to me, and you know, he knows like I want to do exercises, but we also know that there's a limit, and so he understands like the individualism, I think, for the patients, that we're not all the same. Just because I look young and healthy doesn't mean I can go home and do a bunch of like wall sits. So I appreciate that about Richard and about this particular practice here. I don't know what I'll do when he retires. It's truly like the most helpful, that really it's the only helpful thing I have in my life right now for my pain. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay.